Hello there, one and all. You know who I am, ETTemplar, Supreme Misfit, Professional Dipshit, and special thank you to the people who support this channel. Right here, some awesome people, and special thank you to people like you who actually watch this content. Now, before we get into this video, their opinions don't reflect mine in this video, and of course, let's jump right into it. So, of course, Kamala Harris went to go get some chips, and this video is very telling, and I'm going to give my own perspective on it. Maybe it's unique, hopefully it is, but here we go. And we're going to talk about some of her other policies too, so if you're a Kamala fan, you should probably just dislike the video and head the fuck out. But here we go.
Doritos. Oh, Dougie, there.
So this is supposed to be a photo op to, I guess, get votes from the plebes, because it shows Kamala that she's just like you and me, as she enters a convenience store gas station, probably on the safe side of town, with a contingent of Secret Service that will lay down their lives to protect her and take lives to protect her. Whereas you and I, we just have to go into public and we have to run that risk of being fucking murdered, raped, robbed. You guess it, wherever you are at in this failing country and burning Rome. So there's already that. So you can't really connect to the average person there. But one thing I want to point out is, do you notice how she goes in asking for it, and she's kind of looking for someone to find the Doritos for her? Here's an idea, Kamala. Why don't you try the fucking chip aisle, retard? So, and of course, Dougie finds the single pack, right? The small. Oh man.
There they are.
I know you want those.
See, Tim Walz at least knows where to find the fucking chips, even though he's like a bad communist, chai-com, cock-gobbling piece of shit. At least he can find the chips, all right? So we'll give Walz a point there.
Isn't this it?
Yeah, that's
the big. There you go.
It's so funny to see these people try and pretend to be like average people, because, you know, they send interns out to get shit. They Uber Eats everything. They Instacart everything. They have manservants probably. Kamala Harris, I don't know how many homes she owns, but she probably owns multiple homes. And again, these are people who are so far above us in the economic and political class that they think them going out buying a single bag of fucking Doritos is somehow going to get people to vote for them because they went out to a convenience store and bought some fucking chips. So I don't know who ran this particular bullshit photo op here, but wow! Kamala Harris actually went outside her mansion with her security of the Secret Service to buy some chips. Wow, here's for the small people. So much, ladies and gentlemen. Go out and buy some chips. And do they think just because this dumb horse-faced power slut bought some chips that there's going to be people out there who are like, oh, wow, I'm going to vote for Kamala because she likes nacho cheese flavor. I'm fucking stupid. Right? Okay, let's not. So that's that. That's her doing a average man and woman task of buying a bag of chips at a convenience store, which that must be nice to buy to afford the average brand of fucking Doritos. You know, when I go out and buy chips, when I can afford it, I buy the Clancy's brand at Aldi's or the Clancy's brand at Walmart or Kroger, right? Because those are cheaper. They're like $2 or $3 cheaper. But that must be nice to afford. And so this is where we get into the price control bullshit, the Kamala Harris campaign. So she wants the government to control prices of items in stores, just for literally everything. So she wants the government to control the prices of everything. So If that doesn't alarm you, then you're mentally handicapped. But here's the scary thing about that. Let's say you live in a red state, or you live in a pro-Trump neighborhood, right? And so if the government wants to persecute you, what they can do is price control the minimum price of shit in your local store, gas station, or wherever, or even the price of gas. They can minimize that up to, like, say, $10 a gallon in your red state or community that you don't like, Kamala Harris or Walz. They can price control everything to a higher exponential level, essentially forcing you to lock down or move to a blue state where they have their price control set lower. Now, would they be this devious to do this? Maybe not, but I wouldn't put it past these fucking ass goblins to do that. To unjustly change the minimum of items in stores for gas, for literally anything, to higher prices to states, cities, and areas that they don't like. I mean, if you witness the track record of the FBI, the CIA, and the Patriot Act, where it was supposed to be, oh, we're only observing terrorists and threats to national security. Well, now they've got, by now a new data collection center in New Mexico from the NSA that collects data on everyone. It doesn't matter if you're a terrorist. Now they collect data on just average day Americans and traditional Catholic groups because they're against abortion, for Christ's sake. So if the government's willing to go that far with surveillance, don't you think that they would be willing to go that far with price control to fuck over their political enemies and adversaries? It's coming. So, there's that. At least on the right side of things, Trump isn't for that kind of authoritarian horseshit. And we know that would happen. And not only that, this will kill small mom and pop businesses and only leave larger companies and corporations that can afford to handle loss of prices for price control. So the price of everything's going to skyrocket. Those Doritos she bought there, instead of being $5, that's a bit steep right now, to $8 or $10 for a bag of fucking chips. And not only that, you're going to be getting less chips as well, because now there's additional charges for diesel price control. There's prices of control for... So the economic hell that this will create will literally... just be apocalyptic. You won't be able to afford shit and snacks. When it's Super Bowl Sunday, you'll be eating fucking salads. And that's probably, I guess, by their design. So another thing I want to talk about is, give me a minute, I lost track. I got so fucking flustered over this horse-face fucking power slide. I gotta contain my anger here because that might, see, we had the Kamala Harris price control. The $25,000 down payment that the government somehow going to help you afford your first house. So on paper, right? To those of you who are less educated or low information voters will be like, oh, wow, the government's going to help me afford a house. Whoa! Where the fuck are they going to get the $25,000? This is coming from the same government that says year after year, we're going to fix your roads, your infrastructure. And then you go out and you look at your roads in, I know in California or New York or other places, New Jersey, you'll go out and you look at your roads and like, oh, these roads are shit. There's potholes. We've got crumbling bridges and infrastructure in Chicago, Maryland, and other places. And they've been running on this year after year to fix our infrastructure, but they don't. Mainly because all that fucking money goes to special interests and corporations, and then they don't fucking do anything. They just keep and take the money. We have to throw in unions in there too. The money also goes to unions, and no one does a fucking thing because it's all a scam. So that $25,000 on your house, that's just going to increase the cost of houses by an extra $25,000 because people are going to want to make money off that. So that's going to increase the housing by $25,000. And with the price control, this also goes to housing and realtors, because now they can say, oh, if your house is worth $300,000, they can price regulate or price control it down to $150,000. So now you, as a homeowner, has lost over half your value because the government stepped in and says, fuck you, it's now $150,000 cheaper. And we're gonna slap another $25,000 off the price of that remaining 150,000. Now, will that happen? That was just an example. So, that's that for Kamala Harris. That's just the economic shit, right? So, in my humble opinion, go out there and vote. But I mean, if you want to pay $10 to $15 for a bag of Doritos, and you want to pay more for houses, if you want to pay more for literally everything in your life, and you're sick sadomasochist who just likes being fucked in the ass by your government, vote for Kamala Harris, sure. But there's another candidate, and here on YouTube, I probably can't even suggest voting for the man. But there's Trump and RFK Jr. I mean, at least RFK Jr.'s in some shit and said some stupid things. But I mean, if Kamala gets in, ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna be bad. I'm not gonna come out here and say black pill and say the United States is over and all that, but it's gonna be rough. But that's around Kamala Harris and Walz. And of course, this also leeways into Kamala Harris wants to do mandatory gun buyback. So this is how this also applies with price control on this. So let's say a neighborhood doesn't want to do the mandatory buyback. Then Kamala Harris and Walz, they say in this neighborhood, in this area, in this county of, let's say, any other state, we're going to price control to everything to be 100 times what it is until they turn their guns. And until they do the mandatory buyback. We're going to increase prices on everything in this one county by $100, like 100%. And until they turn in their guns and do the mandatory buyback, then we'll reduce the prices back to manageable numbers. So with this price control, it's essentially communism. It's another way they can force you against your will to turn in your right of self-defense or other rights just in general. And this goes both ways of the spectrum. So let's say even a ultra-rightist comes to office and starts utilizing price control against leftist and liberal towns. So even from the point of being non-biased and from a central point here, this is fucking terrible just in a general sense for anyone, because anyone can utilize price control and price control your ass right into homelessness. So there's constitutional violations here with this price control shit, and it's runaway totalitarianism. And but most of you Antifa people out there are going to be for this because your guys' brains are like literal fucking mashed potatoes. And even though you're anarchist, yet you're for Kamala Harris and price control. That's literally going to be used against you at some point. But then again, this is me trying to argue sense to communists and anarchists, which... Again, these people are horrendously lost. They got mashed potato brains and brain worms anyway, so that's not even going to waste any energy with that. But so yeah, price control is the most un-American horse shit, and it will be used as a political tool against you, your neighbors, your family, your county, and your state. If you don't think they won't, just look at the Patriot Act. Look how far that's gone out of control. You don't think price control can go out of control and be used against you or any other political agency or political group that goes against the control of, let's say, just in a general sense, the New World Order or the elites or the consortium, whatever you want to call it. It's bad. And it's not going to mean you saving money. It's going to mean your butt, federal government and its fist, and doing something like this number, okay? Got the point? Okay. So, price control is fucking stupid. The $25,000 down payment is fucking stupid because where are they going to get that money? They can't even pay the 35 trillion in debt now. So, yeah, anyway, this has been my 2 cents on it. Hopefully, you go out there and vote. Get your friends and family to vote. And unless if you like, again, to preface this, unless if you like being pounded in the ass by your federal government and having them steal all your money on this price control bullshit, then by all means vote for Kamala if you're a fucking idiot. But by all means, aim your vote away from Kamala, unless if you want a communist utopia in which you're starving and don't have any goddamn money. All right. Anyways, take it easy. God bless. Stay happy. Stay healthy. And see you next time.